And welcome to the Market Alert from Monday the 18th of December 2017. Starting off with the pound on Friday, the market was fairly sideways until we got sideways to low. You can see there breaking below the 20 bar average. Then we got a sell signal and we see the market drop sharply before then regaining its support and remaining sideways to slightly higher. There you can see the market coming off the lows on the overnight by around 50 points there. Bit of volume on the overnight there as well. In the daily chart, you can see that the 62% retracement holding there, and also the market coming back down to this level here. You can see there 133, the market holding there as prices came down during Fridays, with prices starting to rebound a bit there and moving high. Need to close back above the 20 bar average. And again, we've still got this resistance at these levels should the market continue to the upside there. News-wise today, what we got, final CPI, that's all we got from the Eurozone. Fairly quiet day then. Final week up to Christmas as well. Full trading week from what I can see at the moment, all the way through to Friday, because obviously Christmas Eve, Sunday, and then Christmas Day a week today. In the Dow, this was fairly quiet. You can see there the market starting off sharply. You can see the buying there, met by selling, further selling. Then we see some profit taking before further selling comes in, and then this disappears, as you can see here, and then eventually we get the market moving back to the upside and then back down again. So fairly choppy session there. We did have a sell signal, the market coming down to the scalp level, and then stopping, reversing and moving back, and then the market sideways, as you can see there, and then eventually moving back to the upside before the close on Friday. But a quiet day, there wasn't much news out and not much of a range there either. However, that said, if you have a look on the overnight, you can see that the Dow is higher. I'll use the daily chart, it's probably a better picture there. And we've got prices continuing to move to the upside. 24,765 is the all-time high that's been posted already on the pre-market session. Not far off now the 25,000 level. Amazing that this market can do that in only 235 points, if that's a correct calculation. To the 25,000 level. So insanity. I mean, when you think that just a few weeks ago, middle of November, we were down at 23,500 and now nearly 1,500 points higher there. So and then people say about Bitcoin moving to the upside, it's a bubble. Well, again, my argument is you try shorting the Dow. It doesn't go down either, because there are more buyers pumping the market to the upside, and that's the same with the Bitcoin market as well. You can see yesterday made a new all-time high, 19,666. We've got Bitcoin headlines here saying that it crashed over 2,000 from the open, converged to the spot, and that's against the futures. That was the case, but as you can see there, it's now marching back towards the upside. We've also got the launch of the CME's Bitcoin futures contract today. And this is where it's interesting, because people saying once the futures contract came on stream that we would see the market change, they would plunge the Bitcoin market. Well, that's not going to happen, because there are more people opening accounts than in any area of trading I've ever seen. In fact, having a look around at the weekend, you couldn't even get onto some of the exchanges with the insanity of this. But what was interesting for me, and always has been an interest for me, is volume. And as you look here, it says JP Morgan's Nicholas, I can't even pronounce his surname now and don't intend to, notes that thus far the volumes of Bitcoin futures trading have remained rather modest. The full day of trading on the December the 11th saw around 77 million of volume across the three traded contracts, after which the volumes have declined, with December 14 totaling just over 20 million. This compares to an average transaction volume of 13 billion per day over the same period across the cryptocurrency exchanges. So really, there's no competition at the moment. Yes, they can manipulate it. Yes, they can slam the price, and no doubts they will attempt to do that. But the bigger picture is that the amount of people coming into this, it's just staggering. I've never seen anything like it. It's certainly hysteria. It's certainly a bubble. I'm not going to disagree with that at all. But how do you actually stop a freight train that is heading towards you by putting up a picket fence to try and stop it, which is what the 77 million in volume is compared to 13 billion, which would be a fully reinforced concrete barrier. And that's the issue at the moment. There is a lot of insanity in this market. And I'm sure it's going to see massive corrections that are going to see people getting absolutely slaughtered. No doubts about that, because that's how it works. I'm not advocating buying Bitcoin or anything like that, but it's a fascinating thing to see at the moment as this market unfolds. No doubts at all. There's another thing that I wanted to show you actually before we conclude. I've got to try and find it though, and that's it. But probably can't. It was to do with the government and cryptocurrency, so it's going to be a bit further up then. Yeah, here we go. I haven't read the article, but the headline was interesting. The year central banks begin buying cryptocurrency. A turning point for G7 central banks will be when the Bitcoin market capitalization exceeds the value of the SDRs that have been created and allocated to members. So this will be an interesting one to see it unfold as well. I mean, the conspiracy theorist in me believes that this was some sort of central government created thing in the first place. It's very interesting when you hear Greenspan making comments last week on CNBC saying it wasn't an accident. Satoshi, the creator, nobody's ever met him, nobody's ever seen him. It's all very, very cloak and dagger. I'm not saying it is a conspiracy, but it would make perfect sense to have something like this crash the current fiat system, and then for the governments, as you see here now, the central banks begin buying cryptocurrency, creating their own at some point down the line. Even Andrew Haldane of the Bank of England wants to remove cash from the system. And this, of course, is the Orwellian totalitarian, let's track everybody not only with where they are with their mobile phones, but also what they actually spend on as well. So it's certainly going to be interesting for 2018 as we approach it, and to see how these things actually unfold. But for me, there's always a bigger agenda to just making a few quid in something. I always look at the bigger picture, as I say, just to see what's really going on. And this is interesting to say the least. Not saying that it is, but it makes for interesting reading, if nothing else, while this lot is unfolding before our eyes at the moment. Right, that will do it for today. There's not much news, fairly quiet, run up to Christmas. Should be one direction for the Dow, one direction for Bitcoin initially, as they launch the CME contract and everybody in his dog jumps in to try and ride the bandwagon. So yeah, don't expect too much. And of course, now I've said that, it probably will fall apart, but personally I don't think so. It's they don't like indigestion over Christmas, as I've said before. So expect the Dow to head for 25,000 by the end of the week, with pullbacks, of course, and some profit taking along the way. But 235 points to the 25,000 isn't that far off. Right, that'll do it. As ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.